Hi, today we'll be looking at some of the overviews and fundamentals of masking in Photoshop. I have opened up mask1.psd. You'll notice that there is 4-layer groups here. One is for reference. We'll take a look at that first. I'll turn the visibility on here, and you'll see there are 3 layers underneath. I have a happy little pizza in the mountains, followed by a shamrock background silhouetted or actually knocked out in a shamrock shape. And then, of course, a happy couple with a slight gradient on the bottom, and you'll see where all this is going in a moment. So let's turn these off. This is just for your visual reference of what I want you to accomplish in this short assignment overview. All right, so the pieces that you'll need to complete this task are in the layers above this. I'll close this up. So look at mask 1. Open this up, then I have the pizza piece itself, and then underneath that I have the mountain scenery behind that. What we're trying to do is actually use the visibility of an area in non-destructive editing to have this one object, in this case a pizza, be able to be seen over top of this mountain scene. You can see in the layer thumbnail here on the right in the layers palette. The normal, I guess, default at some point would be to go in and erase all the white, and you'd be able to see that. The problem is if you dig in too far and you make some mistakes or change your mind later, you don't have a flexible working document. So what we can do in this case, I will highlight the pizza area. Select the Move tool, make sure the pizza layer is active, and go over to my magic wand. I will click on this. Here, I'll leave this at the default at 32 here. That's the number of pixels tolerance you're grabbing. I will click on the white area, one click, and you'll notice that this has selected the area of white, everything but the pizza to then be active in the layer. I want to actually mask out, meaning have only the pizza visible. So I really want to invert this selection. I can just hit Control-Shift-I or Command-Shift-I on a Mac. So now, although it's a subtle difference, you'll see that just the pizza itself is selected. I can go down to the very bottom right. There is a little icon down here. It says Add Layer Mask. I will click on that, and you will then see instantly revealed the background. What we've done is we're using black in the alpha channel. You'll see the channels are up next to your layers palette here. It's down in here. This is the area that is actually visible, and the black area is now clear. So in short, you're kind of using black to make things clear. All right, so that's one way to do it. So selecting an area and clicking on layer mask makes it the background clear, and you can do this with any 2 objects. What's by default, these 2 pieces here are chained together, meaning the object itself and the mask. So if I move them together, they're moving correct here. If I unlink them, I can actually move the mask, which is that area here. I'll hit Control-Z to undo that, or I can actually move the pizza itself and then move the pizza in once knocked out, so you can see what's happening with that. All right, that is example number 1. For example number 2, we'll take a look at our 2 pieces in here. We then have the shamrock shape, which I will then go back in, use the same technique, use the mask here. But what's great is I can jump to different layers. Once I have this selected on this layer, I'm actually going to turn this layer off and make the layer behind this active. All right, so by doing this, I will then click on the Add Layer Mask, and I then have this. What we're seeing is the white in the background of the whole document, and then we have the shape that is decided by our selection set here on the right, and we're able to use this here. And if I don't quite like it is, I will temporarily undo it, click on the image itself, and say maybe I'll tweak this a little bit and get it a little closer. Whatever your artistic sensibilities tell you looks better. Fantastic for editing purposes. All right, lastly, I will then pop over to mask number 3. I have the happy color couple here that are enjoying their smart card. I will actually then select everything. I can actually click on the rectangular marquee tool, start at the top, and drag to the bottom corner. I will deselect now, or I can just hit Command or Control A, which is select all. You can also do this up top here with select all. Select all. So everything is selected now. I will mask this entire piece out, and if you'll notice, oops, I made a happy mistake and I masked the layer set, not the image itself. So let's do this again. So now I have the mask. You notice nothing happened, but what we're going to use is the gradient tool to allow us to feather the visibility of the area, to kind of blend one area into another. I'll click over to my gradient tool, and because I'm using this on the masked area, the alpha channel, I want to make sure that I'm dealing with black and white. So I made sure after I click my gradient tool, what type of gradient am I picking? I'm picking black to white here, okay? That's good. And then on this, making sure this is highlighted here, I will actually control click to make this active, or I can reselect the area. And then by clicking and dragging, click here, and I'm going to hold the shift key down and hold this nice and straight, constrain my proportions here. I am then able to make this part clear. You'll notice it's black on the bottom here. And if you want to just check to make sure you're really seeing through it, you're not just creating white, you can turn this off. Let's go back down in here, and you can see the actual image behind this. So it's a great way to flexibly fade your documents. Lastly, for some hand editing, if we want to go back to our pizza area, I'll deselect everything. If you want, for some hand touching, I can grab my brush tool, and on the alpha channel, the layer mask itself, I will then select the black, because I want to paint with black. Make sure I'm in the black here, pure black. I'll make my brush a little bit bigger. Come over to something you guys can see, and I can pretty much work my way in and out of this. Sometimes I'll zoom in a bit. You can see the edges are a little crusty. I might want to fix these up a little bit to make them fade a little bit less jagged, what have you. And if I make a mistake, I can switch back to the white by changing the two color pieces here, and then fill the area back in by hand. If you notice, if I go out here, I basically get the other thing. So you have extreme flexibility with doing this, and it's non-destructive. So if you change your mind later, you're able to go back and forth with the entire process. Again, non-destructive editing through layer masks.